Girl, you will not believe what's going down in the luxury fashion world right now. Hermes, yes, that Hermes, the holy grail of bougie Birkins, is on the verge of doing the unthinkable. Word on the street is they're threatening to pack up and leave China. I'm talking full-on dramatic exit. And baby, this isn't about expansion or strategic repositioning. No. This is about getting dragged by Chinese manufacturers who pulled back the curtain and exposed the dirty secrets Hermes hoped we'd never see. We're talking about the brand that built its empire on $1,000 handbags and fantasies of French craftsmanship, now being accused of corporate greed so intense it might just cost them their second largest market. And trust me, the receipts are scalding.
You can continue to expose all of these retailers. Nobody's going to care.
I am about to crash.
Y'all would never catch me in nothing fake. No fake earrings, no fake bracelets, no fake shoes, nothing fake designer. It's going to be a no for me.
Out.
Let's start with the bag that started the chaos, the Birkin. The one celebs fight over, influencers drool over, and the rich treat like some sort of investment portfolio. Guess what? The exposed truth says that bag, the one selling for thousands, might have only cost Hermes a few bucks to produce. Yep, pennies on the dollar. And now that crown jewel is being called the poster child for modern-day luxury greed. The backlash? Honey, it's been nuclear. There are protests outside Hermes boutiques. Social media has absolutely gone off. Influencers who once gushed over their Birkins are literally smashing them on camera and dragging the brand through mud, fire, and brimstone. And the cherry on top? Sales are plummeting like rocks.
It starts with 30 distinct cuts of leather and can take 20 hours to complete, 4 hours for just the handle. Put the finishing touches on a Kelly, the most difficult bag to build. Artisans rely on their training and muscle memory to make every bag.
And what did Hermes do? Own up? Apologize? HA? They went full attack mode. Yep, they started suing the whistleblowers, accusing Chinese factories of breaching contracts and lawyering up like some designer mafia. But guess what? That only made it worse, because now the brand that once symbolized untouchable elegance is looking desperate, scared, and wildly out of touch. This is no longer just about a price tag. It's about betrayal. Chinese consumers, the very ones who put Hermes on a pedestal, are now watching the brand fall from grace in real time. And girl, the fall is messy. Remember the Birkin bag everyone covets? The one that's supposed to be this sacred, artisanal masterpiece worth $38,000? 0 cents? Well,
I need you people to wake up and critically think and stop believing this shit that you see on TikTok, okay?
You mean to tell me you believe that this man is making your Birkins in China? If he's a Birkin artisan, then I'm an astronaut.
it allegedly only costs around $1.45 to make. Let that sink in. A 2,500% markup. And this isn't some conspiracy theory being cooked up by bitter bloggers. Nope. This came straight from the factories themselves. Chinese manufacturing insiders leaked the bombshell cost breakdowns. According to them, the materials were cheap, the labor was underpaid, and the whole artisan masterpiece story Hermes sold us, just a fairy tale with a Parisian accent. And then it got even messier.
It's made in China. I can get that for $12.
Go outside and touch grass. Some of you guys feel like this is your moment to shine and you can finally stick it to people that buy luxury goods without like even fact checking anything about any of this information that you're being fed from these factories or people with these TikTok videos which seemingly have false information, everything from pricing to the bags. Like, I just don't understand. A lot of these luxury brands own their own manufacturing and source product from farms that they own. Hermes owns its own tanneries and crocodile and alligator farms, has workshops in France, and most bags are made by a single artisan. So go ahead and buy your DH-Gate bag, whatever bag, and see how it holds up over the years. Trust me, Hermes is not concerned.
One of the insiders flat out said that Hermes' whole French craftsmanship thing is a front. According to them, it's just global outsourcing in disguise, wrapped up with a fancy logo and French snobbery. These leaks exploded across Weibo and Xiaohongshu, China's biggest social platforms. The videos, cost breakdowns, behind-the-scenes snaps, all of it went viral. People weren't just shocked, they were enraged. And suddenly, buying a Birkin wasn't a flex anymore, it was a joke. The internet started asking, were we buying luxury or were we just buying a lie?
This is why this bag from our factory only costs you 1,000 USD.
Have you all seen that TikTok by the Chinese guy exposing how luxury goods are actually made? The only real difference? China ships the products to Europe, slaps on a made in France or made in Italy label, and boom, luxury? It's ridiculous.
And honey, when that question started trending, everything went downhill fast. One viral post by a supposed ex-consultant who worked with Hermes' third-party factories confirmed the worst fears. That 2,500% markup? Like accidental. It was calculated, deliberate, and hidden behind fluffy marketing fairy tales. They called it romantic exploitation. And the people? Oh, they had time that day.
These are pieces of artwork. These artisans train years and years to make one of these bags.
Fabrice is doing the last stitching on a Kelly bag. A Kelly takes around 13 hours to be made, depending on the materials that we make it. Our artisans, they need to do 4 years of training to be able to manufacture a Kelly bag.
Hermes says, made in China, does it feel cheaper? No, that's not a quality issue. It's luxury brand washing.
Hermes, you guys, it's time to show off your factories. No, I don't want to wait to go on YouTube and watch a beautiful documentary on show them off right here on TikTok. Let the world see. Okay, get like China. You gotta be ghetto about it. Just let people know.
None of the brands these creators mention, Louis Vuitton, Prada, Chanel, especially Hermes, need to go to China for production. And here is why. Labels like Made in France and Made in Italy comes with strict restrictions. And brands at that level don't risk compromising that. It's just not worth it.
Hermes tried to spin the narrative again. They released footage showing artisans painstakingly stitching bags by hand, like some luxury documentary. These are pieces of artwork, they claimed. Our artisans trained for years. Nice try. But TikTok, Zhao Hongshu, and Weibo weren't having it. Entire comment sections flew with rage. Hashtags calling for boycotts popped up. People posted receipts. Even OG fans of the brand were like, wait, the illusion was gone. And baby, then came the moment that changed everything.
Got a lot of requests, do Hermes next. And that's why we're here in the Highland Park Mall.
In Italy, made in China, or maybe made in Chile. Oh yeah, that should be a thing, by the way. I have spent over $100,000 of my own money dissecting luxury bags, cutting them open, analyzing every stitch, every layer. Why? Because I had to know what made those bags so expensive.
Does anybody have the Louis Vuitton from China and a Louis Vuitton that they got at the designer store? Because I need to see a side-by-side. I have to know if there's any discrepancies or any differences, or is it the exact same thing? Because I'm starting to feel ripped the fuck off right now. I got a closet full of this shit that I paid thousands for. And you're telling me it's all been made in China and I could have just gone straight to China and gotten this shit? It just can't be the same. It cannot be the same. And if it is, damn, we all got played. Well, not all of us, but a lot of us. Seriously, please don't tell me I got played. I refuse to believe that there's no difference.
It requires a lot of skill to turn it and get it on the right way.
Il y a des bouchées, des bacs plus 4, 5, 6, on en a. Hein.
The rage spilled offline. Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, Hermes boutiques turned into protest zones. It got wild. Glass shattered. Crowds chanted for justice. Influencers live streamed in real time, standing outside the boutique screaming, "You think we're just walking wallets?" One video showed a woman slamming her Birkin on the pavement, screaming, "I paid for luxury, I got lies." That clip hit 20 million views in under 2 days. It was raw, it was personal. This wasn't just a handbag scandal, this was an identity crisis. These bags represented status, power, elegance. Now, they were a symbol of being conned. People weren't just mad, they were heartbroken, humiliated. And Hermes, they thought a lukewarm, vague corporate statement about brand integrity would cool the fire. AJ, it poured gasoline. Soon, Chinese state media stepped in. The People's Daily, Global Times, they weren't gentle. They roasted Hermes and the entire luxury industry for being exploitative, elitist, and downright disrespectful to Chinese consumers. The articles were scathing, y'all. Socialites who once bragged about being on the Birkin wait list, canceled. Wealthy buyers who flexed their collections, uploading unboxing regret videos. The humiliation was so real, some even posted receipts saying, "I feel played." And just when Hermes thought it couldn't get worse, it did. But Hermes wasn't about to go down without throwing a few punches of their own. And baby, when I tell you they came out swinging, facing a tidal wave of public rage, store boycotts, and influencer takedowns, Hermes decided to do what billion-dollar brands do best when they're in hot water. They got their lawyers on speed dial, like immediately. Word got out that Hermes had filed multiple lawsuits targeting Chinese manufacturers. The accusations? Breaching confidentiality, defamation, exposing proprietary business data. But here's the twist. People didn't see this as the brand protecting its reputation. Nope. They saw it as pure retaliation. Suddenly, Hermes Mafia started trending. Hashtags like Hermes silences workers and justice for whistleblowers started blowing up across platforms. And here's where it gets seriously messy. One of the alleged whistleblowers who had shared internal docs revealing how Hermes secretly outsourced work to third-party factories in Guangdong reportedly went into hiding. People started speculating that Hermes had hired private investigators to hunt down the leakers. It was giving measure to scandal energy. Analysts began chiming in, calling it a textbook case of corporate bullying, and legal experts across Asia started poking holes in Hermes lawsuits, saying Chinese labor laws might actually protect the whistleblowers under industrial transparency statutes. If those laws held up in court, this legal stunt could blow up in Hermes' face big time. Then came the receipt. Chinese netizens started sharing screenshots of alleged NDAs and shady factory contracts. They claimed Hermes had written vague clauses on purpose, just enough wiggle room to dodge accountability, but tight enough to sue when needed. The public wasn't buying it. In fact, the lawsuits poured gasoline on an already roaring fire. And guess what question Hermes still hadn't answered? Why was $1,450 0 cents bag being sold for $38 0 cents? You can sue all you want, Hermes, but until you explain that insane markup, the people are going to keep dragging you. Now, here's where things go nuclear. Reports started swirling that Hermes was considering pulling out of China entirely, like full exit mode, shutting stores, cutting stores, cutting off supply, backing away from one of the biggest luxury markets on earth. Yes, you heard that right, Hermes. The same brand that relied on Chinese billionaires, influencers, and socialites to make the Birkin a global icon is allegedly thinking about ghosting the whole country. And the reason? Because they got caught. Because the fantasy they sold of handmade French elegance, of once-in-a-lifetime artistry, was exposed as overpriced outsourcing wrapped in a luxury bow. And instead of apologizing, instead of addressing the actual issue, Hermes pulled a classic playbook move, threatened to walk away and make it the market's fault. According to insider whispers, Hermes execs have been in crisis mode, meeting around the clock. Some say they're weighing three brutal options: scale back operations and limit product drops, close several mainland boutiques to preserve the brand, exit China entirely and spin it as a strategic repositioning. Translation, take the bags and run. But let's be real, this isn't just about one bad quarter or a scandal. This is about losing control of the narrative. For years, China was their golden goose. A single product drop in Shanghai could generate 6 figures in minutes. Chinese consumers treated Birkins like investment assets, and Hermes treated them like royalty. But that same loyal customer base, now they're calling Hermes out. And if Hermes thinks they can just waltz out and come back later when things cool down, they've got another thing coming. Because China? Baby, China does not need them anymore. Enter the new kids on the block, domestic luxury brands like Shanggu, Icicle, and Neiwai. These homegrown fashion houses are ready to fill the gap. And they're doing it with transparency, respect, and modern values. No fake French fairy tales, no elitist branding, just good design, honest pricing, and cultural respect. And they're growing fast. If Hermes leaves, they won't be missed, they'll be replaced. And that right there, that's what has the entire Western luxury industry shook. Because Hermes isn't just fighting for its reputation, it's fighting to stay relevant. Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Dior, they're all watching this unfold with white-knuckle panic. If Hermes crashes in China, these brands know they could be next. According to insiders, rival fashion houses are scrambling right now, like actual emergency meetings, internal audits, price reviews, PR strategy reboots. Everyone's checking their supply chains twice, maybe 3 times, because if the Chinese consumer can drag Hermes, they can drag anyone. This isn't just a scandal, this is a luxury reckoning. The days of hiding behind fancy marketing, European mystique, and secretive pricing, over. Today's consumer has the internet. They've got leaks. They've got receipts. And they are done being manipulated by billion-dollar brands selling fairy dust at gold bar prices. Hermes' fall from grace is a wake-up call, loud and clear. And what happens next could rewrite the rules for luxury forever. So let's close it with this. If Hermes walks away from China now, it's not because China failed Hermes. It's because China figured them out. And that, darling, is the ultimate power shift.